Well, hello again, or hello for the first time, whichever the case may be for you. I'm glad you're here. I'm Hambbage, and we're about to kick things off for yet another exciting, I hope not, episode in the guts of our Darkroom Creeper spawner. So that's what we have ahead. I think it's going to be fairly repetitive, but sadly for me and good for you. The building will be fraught with some degree of peril, and you all can be the ones to enjoy that. Watch me suffer, right? At the heart of so much entertainment. Okay, now we're not gonna forget the torches. We'll just go back around and do them all. Let's get these up. Not gonna forget those torches. We're just gonna put these up. Tell myself as much as I'm telling any of you guys. You heard me the first time. It's my brain that's apt to get distracted, right? And are we losing light here? Two more to go. Alright, now let's go all the way back around here. Drop in, get it. That's pretty tedious. um, anybody see? Okay, there's. I guess the dirt blocks would also give us the path back, but um, yeah. After you've broken the scaffolding, might be a good idea to throw that back up again, huh? Okay, there's all that. Now we've done. I think we wouldn't have placed the torches if we hadn't finished those. So now we're going to go all the way back around again. No, we are not, because we are short of dirt. So this is a bit of the drawback of having to go up and then back down again. It's just extra time and I shouldn't have tried to cut it, right? I had the exact number of dirt blocks that I needed, and I should have kept extras. Anything that breaks it and can go down. Trapdoors are pretty safe. I mean, they're so slow to break anyway that you're not going to inadvertently break those, but particularly dirt. I mean, like, yeah, climbing out of the water or setting these up, we should have. It's not enough. None there. I think we're still going to have to come back around, so we may as well just go up and back down again. No. Still nothing coming down yet, but that's a good thing. We're a little too close for comfort to having any creeper activity just yet. All in good time, though. Well, I kind of suspect that those bottom layers are going to start producing even before we've... Man, I always want to step off there. It's here that we want to go. Alright, now... Just to show you guys how serious I am, let's do... Got a purple block on the edge this time as well. Okay. And I'm not... It's a lot of clicking. Sorry if you guys are getting the mouse noise bleed through there. If you try to run them, though, you're going to open them up. I'd like to be able to, but just not a thing here. Part of what makes this chore the grind that it is. Alright. I suspect we're already... Oh, not quite yet. So we can shut those from the other side. No need to hurry yet. Alright. Come back through here. Now these... Oh, let's sleep. Whoa, that seemed laggy and terrifying. Didn't like it. Okay. Again here with the purple block. Once you do all those, then everything else can become pretty carefree. Those. So, what's everybody been watching? You guys fans of shows and movies and all that good stuff? Anything popped up on your radar recently? The noteworthy one that I watched of late was Netflix said, "Oh yeah, we got this documentary on Bob Ross," and I was I was a kid, kind of at the height of his popularity. A little bit older kid, but he'd been around, and I was young enough at the time that I didn't really, now I know he's kind of a meme, right? It's oh yeah, the Bob Ross deal, oh, happy little trees. He's just, you know, let's not beat around the bush. He's pretty big in the drug using community. Let's put it that way. And sadly, I don't know. One of the people in the documentary kind of talked about is for anybody who doesn't know, I don't think this is a big spoiler. It was fairly common knowledge, although it's kind of a part of the deal. Is he had died of cancer back in the 90s. So I mean, he's been gone a long time. Everything's kind of been replays and all that, and a lot of his notoriety actually came after his death, sadly. But I was kind of bummed. I mean, the name of the documentary was something like Bob Ross, Happy Trees and Betrayal and Greed, or something like that. And Netflix said this is kind of the dark side of Bob Ross, the world's happiest painter or whatever. And I'd been at least familiar enough to know that he'd passed away. I think at some point I'd kind of been like, what, how did that whole thing end? And had learned, I think probably just from a Wikipedia page or something, that he died of cancer, and had kind of recorded his shows right up until the end, and then passed away. And a lot of people choose to do that, especially if they're in a creative type profession like that. If you have some notoriety, your work kind of keeps you going and gives you a purpose to keep fighting. And very clearly, it seems that was the case for him as well. And so I kind of went into this documentary going like, what was the deal? And you could kind of like, was it drugs? Was was he into something? Oh, something like that. I don't know. You imagine the worst in today's day and age. Anytime you hear stuff like that, but sadly, it kind of seemed like it was the story of his kid being all sour grapes, that he didn't get a bunch of money out of his dad. And listen, I empathize completely. It was made to sound as though he wanted his son provided for out of his earnings, along with, he wanted control of his legacy and all that. And this is going to be a little spoilery, and I'm sorry. I want people to be able to go watch shows and stuff for their own. But the long and short of it was, his adult son, apparently had a lawsuit because his business partners retained the likeness and his name and all that. Once you become licensed as that kind of stuff, or a celebrity, and you're making your own money off your name, that's that is intellectual property, and it has a value, and he'd had business partners from the very start. And when it sounded, again, any documentary that you watch, you kind of have to identify the bias. And clearly, this wasn't mincing any words. It was the bias of the son and a couple of his friends, not Bob Ross's friends, not particularly the son's friends, although I'm sure they were, they all knew each other, All right, I'm just looking here. Let's focus up for a second. We got rid of all the dirt blocks that we got around. That was a much better system, by the way. Oh, shoot. We missed. You guys are all laughing at me now, aren't you? I totally missed this. And that's a shame because this is the one thing we really had sped up on by not having the slabs under us. Total momentum killer. Yeah, so sorry for the Bob Ross hot take, but it distracted me. No, I'd say go watch it, check it out. If nothing else, if you aren't, I think everybody's familiar. Everybody knows happy little trees and happy little clouds and all that. But it gives a much better insight into who the actual guy was, not just the meme, right? And sometimes we lose sight of a lot of that kind of stuff, and it's too bad when I think when that happens, and to the documentary's credit, I do think that in his life he was a guy that he didn't go, hey, let's go get on PBS to make millions of dollars. He got on PBS because he loved to paint, and before the show, he was like a touring painting instructor. There was another guy that had actually used the technique that's so famous for Bob Ross, and it's wet on wet, I think is the technique name. And let's see how far this gets us. Do one more. These aren't even in the same order again. Come on. And they're on the wrong sides. So how does it determine which order it wants to... Okay, now we don't have enough. That. Oak, spruce. Birch, spruce. Birch, spruce. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So not enough. Want to sleep as early as possible, even when we're not up there. Remember, the whole point is that they spawn up there above our head. Okay, back here. Oh, that's all our logs. Can you believe that? Well, that's going to be our deciding factor, I guess, as to how many floors we get done right now. So we got 2 extra towards a next level. I wonder how many more that would make. It's probably not gonna be enough, right? That's just less than a stack, but Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need one more to finish this. Oh, and we had these, right? So, yeah, we're not there yet, but pretty close, huh? We'll see. Let's see how far this gets us, and what we have left to work with. And then let's just jam up dirt. Dirt. Come on, dirt. Alright. We got it. Hopefully that should at least take us through the end of the episode. If not through the end of the farm. I didn't really count upward, but if that gets us and we're, a few trapdoors short, that's where, sure, let's just have the very, very tippy top be skellies and zombies and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so as soon as we... Oh, we can do this first. It's the problem with completely filling the inventory. Is we didn't have enough room to go down to have an open hand to pick up the torches, right? That was just kind of silly. Alright. Do that. Yeah, so anyway, the Bob Ross deal, I just walked away going like, man, it sucks for the guy. Bob Ross's business partners got the control of his business interests, and there was a lawsuit that followed to kind of enforce that. And his business partners won. It seems to be very legit. That was what I kind of took out of it. It was like, yeah, that's unfortunate. At least from the son's portrayal of things, it didn't play out the way he wanted it to. Bob Ross, in that regard, appeared to have had different intentions, but a trust was set up, and that trust acted in its interest according to the way that it was created, and ended up giving all those legal rights to his former partners. So, or partners up till the time of his death. It wasn't like he'd broken the partnership or anything like that. So I don't know. It just kind of like, what's the story here? And I was just sad. I was like, I would have liked to have heard more behind the scenes on how much of what he was talking about and how the events of his life affected how he presented himself on the show and the message that he was sending, and some of that kind of stuff. Because he did have a years long what eventually became a terminal disease, and that part was all sad. And while they talked about it, it was all just in this context of this, like, legal money dispute, which had been settled years earlier. Like, okay, usually you watch a documentary and, it either is like left to, oh yeah, this is still ongoing or this or that. And this was just like, I don't like these people because they ended up winning in court. Okay. So I don't know. Check it out. Let me know what you guys think. If you've seen it, am I way off base? Am I missing something here? I don't know. Okay, so all the torches are done. Got that. And now we are ready to begin anew on the next level. Oh, no, we're not. Oh, no, 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 no. We needed to do this part. Oof. Nope. Oh. Go down there. Where'd that one trapdoor go? Ooh. Get those out in a second. Trapdoor. Dirt block. Scaffold. Okay, plenty there. All right, now we're ready to begin on the next level, right? And this is where 1, 2, 3 would get us right up. So yeah, we may never go back for wood again. We may just leave whatever's on that top level as zombie skellies. But let's get after it here. Oh, and I should check the time maybe when we next sleep. See how we're doing here. Oh, come on. So yeah, that was something I checked out recently. Then I've gone back. This is just a stupid, silly show, but it kind of, I'd watched like a season and a half of it when it first started, and it kind of entertained me. And it was on Netflix after, and it popped, and I was like, oh man, it had 5 seasons, I guess. So check that out. It's iZombie. You guys familiar with that one? Young woman gets zombified, and life ensues with hilarious, kind of hilarious. It's certainly not scary zombie. It's just, I'd say it's very akin to Santa Clarita, in a different way. And I don't know, was that likely to come back after the pandemic? Anybody heard any rumors or anything? That was one of my favorite, unexpectedly awesome shows. I think that's what we all go out into entertainment for, and why, like the big box superhero movies and all that so often fall a little short because we're waiting for that wow. Like, I totally didn't expect to be blown away in that particular way, right? Whatever that particular way is, it usually grabs us. All right. Am I overthinking this? I don't want to overlook anything, but I think we've got this kind of down. Zoop, zoop, zoop. Back to here. Now these we will close. Okay, it is sleepy time. And we'll get through here, we'll check. Time 29. Alright, well, we've reloaded, so hopefully we don't need too much more like regroup or not actively building floors time. Yeah, I don't know. You guys feel that way too? That's kind of what I go in, and there's been a few things that have just completely. I think it can happen comically, or it can happen just like wow kind of effect. And I think the first one that really got me with a wow, did that just happen? And I may be off on the timing on this. That the two were probably fairly close in time, but I want to say that The Sixth Sense by M. Night Shyamalan was the first of the two that were like, what am I watching? And the second was the first of the Matrix movies. Those two, in fairly short order, were like, people are making some crazy movies, and I'm one of those. Uh, when I was a little kid, I did some like, there was like a summer day camp kind of thing at the local community college that was a theater deal, so I did some of that, and was in choirs and all that. So I kind of understand the entertainment stuff a little bit, and one of those one of the results of that is, usually you can kind of see it. And again, anybody who's watched enough knows I'm a pretty avid reader too, and that has also included over the years, Shakespeare stuff and other plays and things like that. Some of the Greek classics, of course, and all that kind of stuff. So you kind of understand the story elements that get reused over and over and over and over and over again. So it's a little uncommon when, particularly, like a Hollywood movie or something like that. You're just like, what? Wow. And now, of course, it's even worse because now, even, when the big companies or corporations that want to sell movies and make a bunch of money, they don't want to get sued and they don't want to get bad press. So they've already got a very PC filter, but it's got a slant, right? They still want to seem edgy. So there's like this code of like the things, like butt jokes, that kind of stuff. Take it as that idea, but like things that you can say, or plot elements that you can no, I almost did it wrong. That you can introduce to a script to make it seem edgy, but still not hold up in court as an offensive suit. So couple that with it's just cheaper to use a formula or a proven classic movie. That's why so many remakes happen. Um, and there's very little that's fresh or original, and that's why it's like superhero movies, right? You don't need a crazy plot. You don't need to pay top-notch writers a ton to do the stories. One, they're already in the comics. They've been written. The backgrounds and all that are already there. You just have to find a creative way to get it translated to the screen and throw in enough effects to um, get the people there and get them buying popcorns and sodas while they're there. So, it is a machine, but those two movies in particular, in fairly short order, they were. Again, I can't recall off the top of my head. I want to say that The Sixth Sense was first, but could have been the other way around. And that was The Sixth Sense in particular. I didn't see that one in the theater. I missed it. It just hadn't been on my radar, and I caught it. I think as a DVD at home, and it was one of the few movies where I was so blindsided by how the story turned. I totally missed it. That I went to bed after watching it and like was laying there and was like, I can't believe it. And I got up and rewatched the entire. And it's not a super short movie. I rewatched the whole thing that night before I went to bed, so that I would could go back and be like, how did that so effectively pull the wool over my eyes? Just loved it. It was so good. And sadly, it kind of ruined me on the rest of M. Night Shyamalan's movies, because um, another one of what I think are his awesome movies is The Village. And I was just say that one didn't have the same effect on me. So I don't want to go too deep. If you guys haven't seen them, I hate it when people are like, "Oh yeah, yeah, no, watch this because boom." And I don't think that anybody's going into the Bob Ross documentary with like, "Oh, that ruined it for me." Now I don't know. I mean, I basically just talked about the description stuff, so um, I don't feel too bad there. But I don't want to ruin some of my favorite movies for other people. So check them out. I think they're awesome. Very suspenseful on the M. Night Shyamalans. And if you haven't seen the Matrix movies, first of all, you probably already know the red pill, blue pill meme. But the first time, I think for people who grew up after that had been out, it's kind of one of those. And I was too young to see the first Star Wars. I was a little kid when that first came out. Um, so I certainly didn't see it in the theater the first time, but that's what people talk about. It's like, if you weren't there, you can't begin to imagine how powerful that was to see in the theater. There was nothing else like it at the time. And for me, The Matrix um, and how hard that turned in the midst of the movie. You think you're watching something, you think you got a handle on it, like, all right, this is just action, sci-fi kind of deal. Here we go, and then hard left. Hold on, we're about to turn. Um, that was great for the effect. So I I guess I just recommend those to you. Okay, up. Check this again. 37. We got this. Oh, and we left all those other ones down there. So we may have to, well, obviously we'll have to come back and wrap up, but we can get this next batch done, I think, right? We just want to start with these. Dirt block. We'll get the torches here in a second. Oh, I just got to reset after putting everything. I don't want to be off. I need to be in kind of like fighting Minecraft mode, not building mode for these otherwise totally routine and boring jumps, but the stakes are so high. Um, so yeah, along that line, there have been a few comic movies too that you kind of consider throwaways or whatever that just resonate with you, right? And this will probably tell you a little bit about my level of humor. Um, Two movies that I went into with zero expectations and absolutely floored by how much I liked them were Ted, the movie about it's a Family guy, whatever his name is, creator and all that. Ted, and what was the other one? Sort of superhero, but dark comic. superhero, makes fun of the whole deal. What's the guy's name? Ryan Reynolds? Is that it? He was the Green Lantern once, and that red suit kind of Deadpool. Deadpool. Those two movies, I went in like, oh yeah, these are whatever movies, and just like, what am I watching? This is great stuff. So yeah, it doesn't all have to be highbrow stuff. Those are some of the. Yeah, I got full value out of my. I don't know what the prices were then. $15, $10. Some of those movies. But again, if you're young, wait for them. Both of those they've got R ratings for reasons. They're not kid movies. They'll be there, just like these videos. If you gotta wait, don't worry about it. There's plenty of time. Go play outside. Or watch Star Wars movies. That's what I did. Alright. 3 torches. I don't know if we did this one yet. Did we? Probably. No, maybe not. Didn't. Empty hand. Torch. Right? Good, good, good. Are we good? Alright, let's start here. Safe and measured, but don't need to dawdle, right? So has anybody been to a movie theater since the whole pandemic thing broke out? Anybody gone back in? It seems to me I did, but honestly I can't even remember what I was going to see. Oh, stupid trapdoors. They're so annoying. Okay, now how many of these do we have left? So we gotta save. No, we have more. So we do all these, right? And then we still have more down in the chest that we'll come back up with to do that top layer as much as we can. All right. Just had to make sure I knew what was going on. What we don't want to do is unnecessarily leave floors non-creeper. And honestly, I don't even know if these top floors are effective or not. They should be. But we'll just have to see. I think maybe 4 stories is the most I've done. And I think that's what we're at now, right? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So this is our 4th that we're setting now. And we're going to do 5. Okay, there's that. Here, 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 Here. One torch. All good. Break that. Don't put a slab because you'll stick it to the trapdoor. Next up. Those. Yeah, I still don't remember what was that movie? Oh, was it the Black Widow? I think that was what I saw in the theater. And I was like, okay, I made it, survived, didn't get COVID. Good job. And I think the only next one I may be excited to see enough to see in a theater would be the upcoming Bond movie. Any Bond fans watching? I love that. That a lot of folks, that are growing up now or relatively young, kind of picking up world events and all that kind of stuff, starting to pay attention for the first time. It usually happens when you're older teen years. You start watching the news. You've learned enough of history and social studies and geography and all that to know, like, oh, these are the places in the world that people are talking about, and news starts to have a little more effect. And you start paying attention to things like, social issues and stuff like Me Too and all that. And things, topically, James Bond is kind of the opposite of that, right? He's this player and murderer, he's an assassin, basically, government spy and all that. And they, I'm sure, sit there and go, oh, yeah, should we still do this? But that's been a storyline. Like, you watch some of the old James Bond movies, and they were calling him a dinosaur back when he was. That's always kind of been this mentality that goes along. So when you think like, oh man, what were people like back then? Why didn't you got to remember a fictional character, even though there were different norms and behaviors that were more common back in the your grandparents' generation or your parents or anything like that. Different ways people acted. Uh, doesn't mean people were insensitive to the ideas that you shouldn't mistreat women and you you know there were unacceptable conducts of behavior. It just there's different language around it and different ways. The idea of canceling things, which I think is very knee jerk and doesn't provide any kind of justice to people. It's a 5 minutes after it happened, and don't worry about the other side of the story if there even was one kind of reaction. And there's risks to that. I'm not saying that that it's a bad thing, but kind of. I wish that we still, as a society, were or being a little more measured when it came to those kinds of things, because you can't put it back, right? If you go in and join in an outcry on somebody and later find out, and things like the Justice Project, which is the the people that go around and years later now are using genetics to review old criminal cases, right? And I don't know what the statistics are, but they're crazy of the number of people that they've freed from life sentences, um, who were convicted in courts, and now with DNA, they can go back and say, let's look at this again and go, no, you know what? This guy, there was no way that he could have created, and I say he because, usually that what's the percentage of people that are on, like, murder, either death row or life in prison? It's all guys. Let's just say, yes, there are women, there are exceptions, but disproportionately male. And what they're finding is that justice is very difficult to come by. Time 51. I think we can do the torches and the trap doors here before we break. Yeah, I hope I didn't miss anything. You guys would tell me if I missed something, right? Like trapdoors there. And there. This is why we shouldn't have side conversations. I know they're more entertaining, but I should just quietly plug away at blocks. I was wondering how... Stop it! Oh, I hate that you have to have a free hand to just do... Seriously, what was I doing? I do hate this part, though. That's why oh yeah, we're going so fast. Now we got it brushed just to get back to where we were. So yeah, James Bond. That's what I was trying to say. Um, in the dialogue of some of the old, like, Sean Connery ones, they're like, you were so, you're this outdated. We don't need assassins running around anymore. These are in the scripts, and we're getting all kinds of complaints about how you treat women. It's like all this stuff, and even then they're saying, yeah, you need to be the effect of canceled for whenever the 50s, 60s, whenever they made those early ones. And yet here we go, and I expect that that'll be a massive blockbuster because it's been delayed so long, and is very anticipated, I think. So we'll see how it does, but I expect, once again, despite everything, it will have a big audience. Wow, I just can't believe I skipped 2 whole sections. Just deciding, like, yeah, we're done. Oh. No. Such a mess. Okay, gotta go up here. Don't die because I'm frustrated, and I feel like I'm wasting time now. Man, that was a downturn on what was otherwise a rocking episode, but we're gonna be good. We'll get all this stuff. The next episode, which will actually time well. Let's see what all we have here. So we'll use these. We'll finish up that one. We'll load up the rest. We're gonna need all that and maybe one more. A few more. I think. Let's grab those anyway. Grab that. And then I want to grab these. I can grab that. And these. I'll show you why we want to have all that. And I know we're not going to be able to use much, if any, of all this stuff in this episode, which we may end right here. 55. We can at least get the scaffolding part out of the way. Get back over there. Had a few deliveries going on today. No, I think they got rid of all the extra stuff the other day. So no trash expected, no lawn care, anything like that. But there was one big delivery truck earlier, and now I hear a truck, and it's hitting its horn a few times. Like, we get it, dude. Stop. Yes, you're very important with your horn. Alright, now. Got that one. This one, right? That. We need one here. Then we need one here. Okay, that was my fault. Alright. Now, here. I need a free hand. Need to use the free hand. Break that. That. How we doing? 57, 58. Let's just leave it here. This is good. We'll park. Autological is. Yes. Guys, you are awesome. Sorry for the kind of totally lost it at the end there. It was fun talking movies and stuff with you guys. I thought I could do it and fill in. It's one of those you just gotta pay attention to what's going on. And I didn't, so sorry about that for the backtrack. But we are about a half an episode, I think, from being done with the build, and being able to effectively turn this sucker on. We'll need to clean things up. Just thinking here. So we'll go back up. We'll finish those floors. We got enough to hang these trapdoors, right? And then set up the floor level that we're on now for as many creepers as we can, and then the rest will just be open floors, so they can be creepers or zombies or skeletons. We'll finish out that, and then put a top on it, and then double that up with the dirt so that we can effectively turn it off or begin to if things go really bad down below. Hopefully we never need to, but better to build in contingencies in just in case. If anything ever goes wrong, Better to be safe. So I'll show you guys how to do that, and then we'll extract ourselves, the scaffolding going up, the dirt walkway going over, take all that back down to the level of the tower we built, and take all that back down to our sugarcane level floor. And hopefully by the time all that's done, we got a nice little rainfall of creepers coming at us. So that's what to look forward to. Hope you guys endured this one. If anybody did, you may have skipped ahead because we'll have this next one going. But anybody that's hanging out, you're awesome. Really appreciate you and can't wait to see you for the next one. You guys are the true rock stars. Anybody that's sitting through these. So hope you enjoyed. And let me know if you've done this in the past or if you got videos of your own efforts. I'd love to see them. Until then, take care, though. Bye.